Yes, if you live in a poor neighborhood, you will face challenges that somebody in a wealthy suburb does not have to face. But that's not a reason to get bad grades. That's not a reason to cut class. That's not a reason to give up on your education and drop out of school. No one has written your destiny for you. Your destiny is in your hands. You cannot forget that. That's what we have to teach all of our children. No excuses. No excuses. You get that education, all those hardships will just make you stronger, better able to compete. Yes, we can. To parents, we can't tell our kids to do well in school and then fail to support them when they get home. You can't just contract out parenting. For our kids to excel, we have to accept our responsibility to help them learn. That means putting away the Xbox, putting our kids to bed at a reasonable hour. It means attending those parent-teacher conferences and reading to our children and helping them with their homework. And by the way, it means we need to be there for our neighbors' sons and daughters. We need to go back to the time, back to the day when parents saw some kid fooling around, and it wasn't your child, but they'll whoop you anyway. Or at least they'll tell your parents. Your parents will. You know. That's the meaning of community. That's how we can reclaim the strength and the determination and the hopefulness that helped us come so far, helped us make a way out of no way. It also means pushing our children to set their sights a little bit higher. They might think they've got a pretty good jump shot or a pretty good flow, but our kids can't all aspire to be LeBron or Lil Wayne. I want them aspiring to be scientists and engineers, doctors and teachers, not just ballers and rappers. I want them aspiring to be a Supreme Court justice. I want them aspiring to be the President of the United States of America. I want their horizons to be limitless. Don't tell them they can't do something. Don't feed our children with the sense of that somehow, because of their race, that they cannot achieve. Yes, government must be a force for opportunity. Yes, government must be a force for equality. But ultimately, if we are to be true to our past, then we also have to seize our own future, each and every day. And that's what the NAACP is all about. The NAACP was not founded in search of a handout. The NAACP was not founded in search of favors. The NAACP was founded on a firm notion of justice, to cash the promissory note of America that says all of our children, all God's children, deserve a fair chance in the race of life. It's a simple dream, and yet one that all too often has been denied and is still being denied to so many Americans. It's a painful thing seeing that dream tonight. I remember visiting a Chicago school in a rough neighborhood when I was a community organizer. And some of the children gathered around me. And I remember thinking how remarkable it was that all of these children seemed so full of hope. Despite being born into poverty, despite being delivered in some cases into addiction, despite all the obstacles they were already facing, you could see that spark in their eyes. They were the equal of children anywhere. And I remember the principal of the school telling me that soon that sparkle would begin to dim, that things would begin to change, that soon the laughter in their eyes would begin to fade, that soon something would shut off inside. As it sunk in, because kids are smarter than we give them credit for, as it sunk in that their hopes would not come to pass. Not because they weren't smart enough, Not because they weren't talented enough, not because of anything about them inherently, but because by accident of birth, they had not received a fair chance in life. I know what can happen to a child who doesn't have that chance. But I also know what can happen to a child that does. I was raised by a single mom. I didn't come from a lot of wealth. I got into my share of trouble as a child. My life could have easily taken a turn for the worse. When I drive through Harlem or I drive through the south side of Chicago and I see young men on the corners, I say there, but for the grace of God, go I. They're no less gifted than me. They're no less talented than me. But I had some breaks. That mother of mine, she gave me love. She pushed me. She cared about my education. She took no lip. She taught me right from wrong. Because of her, I had a chance to make the most of my abilities. I had the chance to make the most of my opportunities. I had the chance to make the most of life. The same story holds true for Michelle. The same story holds true for so many of you. And I want all the other Barack Obamas out there, all the other Michelle Obamas out there, to have the same chance. The chance that my mother gave me, that my education gave me, that the United States of America has given me. That's how our union will be perfected and our economy rebuilt. That is how America will move forward in the next 100 years. And we will move forward. This I know. For I know how far we have come. Some of you saw last week in Ghana, Michelle and I took Malia and Sasha and my mother-in-law to Cape Coast Castle in Ghana. Some of you may have been there. This is where captives were once imprisoned before being auctioned. Where across an ocean so much of the African-American experience began. We went down into the dungeons where the captives were held. There was a church above one of the dungeons, which tells you something about saying one thing and doing another. We walked through the door of no return. I was reminded of all the pain and all the hardships, all the injustices and all the indignities on the voyage from slavery to freedom. But I was reminded of something else. I was reminded that no matter how bitter the ride, how stony the road, we have always persevered. We have not faltered, nor have we grown weary. As Americans, we have demanded and strived for and shaped a better destiny. And that is what we are called on to do once more. NAACP, it will not be easy. It will take time. Doubts may rise and hopes may recede. But if John Lewis could brave billy clubs to cross a bridge, then I know young people today can do their part to lift up our community. If Emmett Till's Uncle Mose Wright could summon the courage to testify against the man who killed his nephew, I know we can be better fathers and better brothers and better mothers and sisters in our own families. If 3 civil rights workers in Mississippi, black, white, Christian and Jew, city born and country bred, could lay down their lives in freedom's cause, I know we can come together to face down the challenges of our own time. We can fix our schools. We can heal our sick. We can rescue our youth from violence and despair. And 100 years from now, on the 200th anniversary of the NAACP, let it be said that this generation did its part, that we too ran the race, that full of faith, that our dark past has taught us, full of the hope that the present has brought us. We faced in our lives and all across this nation the rising sun of a new day begun. Thank you. God bless you. God bless the United States of America.